All right, it's 3:30. Is everybody ready? Didn't hear any no's, so. All right. Good afternoon. I'm Jim Arrington, the mayor of LaGrange. And today our community is hurting. We're grieving the tragic loss of life in Monday's double homicide at Cameron Crossing Apartments. And we're deeply troubled by the recent shootings reported across our city. The fear and disruption caused by this violence is very real. Our hearts go out to the families mourning and to every resident who feels unsettled in their neighborhood. This should not be happening in our city. And let me be clear, this violence must stop. The LaGrange Police Department is working around the clock to investigate these incidents. And at this time, I'm going to ask Chief Garrett Fiveash if he would come and give us an update on where they're at with investigations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. On Monday afternoon, we did receive a call about a person being shot at 1600 Meadow Terrace in the Cameron Crossing apartment complex. Out of respect for any members of the families of Mr. Kayla Moss or Mr. Jamarcus Kennedy who may be present or watching, I'm not going to revisit the particulars of what took place in that incident, as you already have all that information that's been sent to the media. What I will tell you is that we're doing everything possible to identify and locate those responsible for what took place. Both our officers and detectives have been combing through video, interviewing potential witnesses and persons of interest, and following all leads to obtain information as to what took place. We do ask that anyone who may have information contact us as soon as possible. No matter how small of a tidbit of information you think it may be, or you may think it's unimportant, we would still ask that you pass that on to us. You have no idea how important that could be and how much of a contribution it can make to the investigation. You can contact us directly here at the police department at 706-883-2603, or you can submit an anonymous tip through our Tip 411 system that you can send in, and we'll get those tips. I would encourage everyone to try to use that for this situation and any situation if you observe any kind of criminal negligence or any kind of criminal act that takes place. That, and as well, that app can be downloaded through the App Store or through Google Play. Since school is out this week, we have all of our school resource officers out in the community supplementing patrol, and our detectives helping them run down leads. We'll also be beginning our summertime crime suppression unit, which we used last summer to great success. We will be beginning that early, probably as soon as the end of this week. And this will afford us the flexibility of having 8 additional officers out on the street, not to answer calls, but that we can get to concentrate in particular areas of interest and particular areas where we've had issues in the past. We'll also be able to get them to concentrate on gang and drug activity, weapons violations, and any other violent acts that have taken place in our community. We've also enlisted the efforts of our state partners through our contacts with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's Gang Task Force based out of Columbus. In addition, we also have one of our own officers that is attached to that task force that will be assisting us. We'll be stopping every traffic violation. If you commit a traffic violation, be prepared to be stopped. We'll be following up on every tip we receive, and we'll be tracking down those responsible for these cowardly and violent acts. We're not going to tolerate it. We're about to start getting in some folks' business that don't like people in their business. It's gone on too long already. Again, it's a weak and cowardly act done against people who were defenseless in the time it took place, and we're not going to have it in our city. Our thoughts and prayers again, and I'll reiterate what the mayor said, are with both the Moss and Kennedy families, and I implore you to come forward if you have any information that could help us. Again, no tip is too small. Please know that we understand that if you live in some of the communities where some of these acts have taken place, if you're familiar with some of the people that have committed some of these acts, there may be some fear on your part. We understand that 100%. But we also have to understand that we provided you an anonymous system that you can reach out, you can give us information. You can help us bring these people to justice and see that this doesn't happen again in our community. Thank you.
I'm going to reiterate a few things that Chief Fiveash said. We need your help. Community, we need your help. If you have any information, just as Chief Fiveash says, no matter how small or how large it is, please say something. Come forward. We have the anonymous tips, just as Chief says, that you can go through the Tip 411 system using the mobile app. It is anonymous and it will stay anonymous. You can upload video, you can upload pictures. You have all the things to do to be able to solve some of these crimes if you'll just speak without it, and nobody will know who it is. You can text keyword LaGrange to 847-411 followed by your message. There's all sorts of ways to do this. If you know something, I ask you to say something. Your information could make the difference in solving the crimes and preventing more violence. This is not just law enforcement issue. It's a community issue. It will take all of our support, one another standing united together. To the people of LaGrange, we cannot accept this as normal. We must come together as neighbors, as family, as community. To take a stand, LaGrange is strong. And when we stand united, we can overcome this. Thank you. And if there's any questions for Chief, we'll take a few questions at this point.
Chief, can you speak a little bit on the case of the 12-year-old who might have mishandled? What's the status with that?
The case, as far as I know, and Kenray, I know it's not your actual case, but please correct me if I'm wrong. That one is still under investigation. There were some charges made in that case. As the last review that I had, that was entirely accidental, but still when a death arises from something like that, there's still a charge to be made.
With that case, is the person, or was the person that's been charged and arrested in relation to the person with the 12-year-old? Have you guys established a relationship?
I know there was a friendship relation, but no, as far as I know, no familiar relation that I'm aware of.
And with relationships, Monday shooting, the two suspects that ran, how far are we in identifying them? Has there been a relationship established with the deceased?
We do know that there was a potential relationship, a familiarization of sorts, if you will. As far as anything beyond that, I really can't comment right now because there's still some other leads we're running down, unless there's anything else. There's a lot of that, a lot of relationships intertwined. That's another thing. You know people in your community. You know who knows who, and you know who are friends. Even those kind of things that people could pass on. I usually see Mark and Jim together. Even those kind of things will help us and could be a potential lead to help us solve some of these things. Yes, sir.
Do we have any update on the brutal attack that happened on Turner Street, the elderly male that was attacked by, I think, another male?
Yes, sir. We have made a positive identification in that case, and we do have a warrant secured for his arrest, and we're looking for him as we speak. And we have also enlisted the help of some of our partner agencies to track down some leads on his whereabouts.
I do have a follow-up. How many shooting calls have y'all received since Monday's double shooting? I know there's been several. So.
Since Monday's, we received there were two additional shots fired calls, and then the one that we had yesterday, so 3 in total since the shooting took place. The two that happened the same day as the actual shooting, we did receive those calls, but we didn't actually make a sustained report because we located no shell casings or no evidence that had actually taken place for a scene. Of course, yesterday was the exception.
Many people in the community talked about I believe it was Longhorn, you may have to correct me about the incident that happened with the man with the gun. Can we talk a little bit about that? And, it's going into our restaurants, going into community events. Talk a little bit about that. The Constitution gives us that right to carry a weapon. However, the Constitution does not afford us the right to be intoxicated and go into a place of business and get in an argument with the staff and the patrons there and come out and want to do whatever he intended to do or whatever he didn't intend to do. Luckily, he never pointed the weapon at anyone. That was the basis. There was no aggravated assault charge for that based on that reason. We do, while we're thankful for the patron that did disarm him and hold him till we got there, we do encourage the public to be very, very careful about doing things like that, so that we don't wind up with an additional injury. But we're not gonna tolerate that. You know, if you wanna go out and you wanna have a drink, have a plan, how about leaving your weapon at home and being sure that somebody else drives you?
You know, we hear about shootings a lot, but there's a reason today that you all might be concerned, and that's why you called this press conference. What's the major concern?
Our major concern, without getting too much into the investigation, gangs are a part of this. I'll just be very frank about it. Gang affiliations, gang relationships, friends and family of people that have gang affiliationships or affiliations or are actual gang members. It's this respect thing. You know, you played a song I don't like, or you said something I don't like, or you're wearing a shirt or pants or driving a car that I don't like. To me, it's so debased. I have trouble wrapping my head around the fact that you want to go out and you want to take a weapon and you want to shoot some poor defenseless person that's standing in a parking lot because you feel disrespected at some point in time. I assure you, at the scene the other night, my officers endured a great deal of disrespect from our very public that we served. We're standing out there trying to do a job, and we're constantly hearing things from the roadway, people screaming and shouting and calling us various things. But we let that roll off. That's part of our job, and we understand that. I would ask that the public do the same thing. Don't get mad because somebody says or does something that you don't like and go home and get a weapon to settle it with. Yes, sir.
You mentioned gangs. Is there a specific gang? Is there a parole in gang activity?
Not that I can comment on at this point. No, sir.
You mentioned gangs. Should the community be concerned about a gang problem here in LaGrange?
I think everybody that lives in Georgia should be concerned about a gang problem. We do have a gang issue. We don't try to secret that fact or hide that or deny that in any way. But we also, these guys and ladies go out here every day and combat that and give us their best effort despite what they face, despite the things they deal with. Gangs are an issue. The mere fact of having that affiliation or thinking that's cool or wanting to be a part of that, again, it's something so foreign to me. But we do have the issue. Again, we don't deny that. We don't try to hide that in any way. But we do give 110% of effort every day to fight them and get them out of our community.
What's your reaction just like from March 25th, 12-year-old till Monday, the violence, having to deal with this, and I don't mean to say deal, but
Yes, ma'am.
what is your reaction? And you know, people say it takes a village and all of that, but what's the reactive and your reaction?
For me, and I'm just, again, I'm a pretty frank person. I'm going to be very frank. I think it takes a parent. It takes a mom or a dad who cares about where their children are and what they're doing. We do have there's been a lot of talk about the curfew. We do have a curfew in place through city ordinance that runs from midnight to 6 a.m. If you're a minor, you can't be out. But at the same time, there has to be a mom or a dad at home or a grandparent or whoever the responsible adult is that cares where a child is. It's alarming to us when we stand out there at a crime scene and we look over at the crime scene tape and there's 5, 6, 7-year-old kids standing out there watching the crime scene. To me, that takes a parent. That takes a parent to go out there and say, hey, you need to come on in the house. That's something you don't need to see. It does want a village helps, but I think it starts with parenting and holding your kids accountable, knowing where they are and what they're doing, who their friends are, and who they're being associated with.
Kind of on that same note, I know the 12-year-old situation may not have necessarily been a gang, but maybe just having a gun, maybe learn how to put guns up. Is that what you want to tell parents?
In that situation, that was a stolen weapon that never should have been in the mix to start with. So a completely different situation.
What about the drive-by shooting on Mansbury Road where the arm lady got shot in the back just right in down? What about that investigation?
Which, when
It's happened in the last couple of weeks. It was one of my daughters from.
y'all familiar with that, Kendra? You
You
want to speak to that, Jerry?
So there was a reckless conduct incident on Wynwood, which spiraled out to Moody Bridge and Ann Bailey. That individual tried to go around whatever incident was occurring between two vehicles, and somehow innocently got struck. Their vehicle did as they headed north out of town.
I think that's
Do we have
the,
a lead on that investigation? Who did that?
and that's the other thing, and I said it earlier. This is an act of cowards. These are people who have no care or concern for human life whatsoever. They want to ride by in a car and shoot at people. I think we're very fortunate that we hadn't had more people injured, especially in the shooting from Monday. More people are injured than what we have. But we will continue. Again, it's about getting in people's business. So if you happen to get stopped for a minor violation, you'll get a warning. We'll let you go on your way. But that's principally one of the ways that we have to kind of get in people's business and see what they're doing. So if you commit a traffic violation and you get stopped, or if you're a parolee or probationer and we come knocking on your door, looking at you and seeing where you've been, there's a reason for that. And those are the tools we use to carry out these investigations.
So is there roads you would say don't travel then? Because I have 3 children in different roads. I don't want to drive by.
I'll give you a comparison. I moved here from Macon. Macon has its problems, much larger population, and with a larger population, obviously, becomes a bigger crime problem. I don't have anywhere in this city that I have reservations about my family driving down the road. I just don't, and I don't think any of these guys do. That's how I feel about the job that our officers do every day.
Not to put anyone on the spot, but where the shootings happen, does the counselor want to say anything, or any other counselors? I just don't know if only the mayor and chief fire marshal.
Sure. Anyone?
Just reaction to being here today.
Well, first I would like to say my condolences to the families. It takes a village and it takes the community coming together. This has truly broken our hearts. We are devastated. These are the communities that we grew up in, we played in. Everyone kind of knows each other. So please, please, if you know something, please say something. Being quiet or think you're staying loyal to these people is dangerous. We need to work together. We need to bring unity back in our community. And right now, our community is hurting. We are hurting. We are devastated. And we need to work together. So please, if you know something, I am begging, say something. Work with these officers. They are going to be out here stopping and trying to get crime solved. But the blame game, we all got to take a part. We all got to do better. So again, if you know something, please say something. Thank you.
I have a question for the chief of police.
Yes, sir.
What are these not necessarily viewer, but eyewitnesses and videos that y'all get? I know there's videos of possibly the Turner Street assault and possibly videos connected to the double shooting. What is this? What are these viewer tips that y'all receive matter to y'all? How does it affect y'all's investigation?
Oh, it saves us so much time. Obviously, reviewing video is extremely time intensive. To have someone to assign and sit down and go through hours and hours of video, I can stand up here and talk for a week about how important that is. I can't stress that enough. And again, the smallest thing. We've solved a homicide over somebody that said, "Hey, I saw this blue car." That's literally the tip, and it allowed us to solve a homicide. So if there's a tip, no matter how small or insignificant you think it may be, please pass that on to us.
I know there's a lot of community outrage over flock cameras. Everyone has a problem with flock cameras. Talk about how those are beneficial to investigations such as this.
They're very, very beneficial to what we do. It allows us to kind of triangulate and put somebody in an area, especially during a given time frame during the day or the night when something took place, invaluable to our investigation efforts.
All right, thank you, Chief. That's the end of our press conference. Thank you.